is this the first week of school for you? It's the first week of school for us. And so that means so many feelings, so many tired kids and moms. Let's keep calm and mother on. Mothering is way too important to do alone and way too serious to be serious all the time. My name is Christy Thomas, and I am here shoulder to shoulder with you, mothering and enjoying life together. This is the podcast where you can focus on being mindful and taking a deep breath with me and learning new things so you can pause and savor the amazing life you already have. It's back to school time, so let's kick it off with a back to school episode. And this one probably isn't what you're expecting. This is the story of my kids in speech therapy. Because I know that in back to school time, there is someone else out there waiting, knowing that this back to school season means that they may finally get answers or finally get their kids help and get some evaluations done and finally figure out why things seem hard. That's kind of what happened with my kids in speech therapy. My middle and youngest child went to speech therapy. The first one started when she was 3. The second one started when he was younger than 3 because I knew to ask. And I just remember the feelings of waiting to get your kid evaluated and then hearing those results. My middle child, was at the 5th percentile for intelligibility for her articulation when we got her speech therapy evaluation results. And that was so shocking to me because as her mom, I understood everything she said. But that's when the hard work started, right? So when you're going through this season of knowing that something's not quite right, or maybe not even expecting that something's not right, and then getting that gut punch, your kid is still your kid. You are exactly the right mom for your kids. Your kids are exactly the right kids for you. And a diagnosis gives you more information. It gives an evaluation, gives you more help, but it doesn't necessarily label or limit anything, okay? Your kid is still the whole wonderful person that you fell in love with and are still getting to know and falling in love with. So that was the first thing, was that I really needed to process that my first child needed speech therapy because I couldn't understand why until I asked my friends, and then they were like, yeah, I don't understand what she says. But she sure talks a lot, and she did. She was talking a lot, but without other people understanding. And then my son, my youngest, wasn't talking when we expected him to be talking, right? So I pushed for some birth to 3 help there to start the ball rolling because early intervention matters if you can access it. But I know that as a school teacher and as a mom who has sat in IEP meetings, that the beginning of the school year, there is a push for those things that didn't get to happen at the end of the last school year. I am not an IEP expert. I do recommend if you're going down this path that you look for someone for help. Find an advocate, talk to other moms and dads in your neighborhood. There's probably a special education Facebook group for your school district. You will find the right people who ask for help. Here's what I want you to know. As you're starting the new school year and trying to find help for your kids, be gentle with yourself. These changes come with an energy shift, right? And you have to process all of that. And also, when you get help for something like speech therapy, you are required to do a lot of homework. So there's a lot of ways that you can turn therapy into high quality playtime. So this is when my family had dry erase boards in every room so I could remember the words we were supposed to be working on for that week. And I had those dry erase boards up so I could read them and be reminded. We also did a lot of arts and crafts where we hid animals that had that same sound or objects that had that same sound. painted them, colored them, laminated them, brought them to playgrounds, got everyone else involved. So it was just a game. It's not easy. Helping a kid talk can be a lot of work, but know that it's worth it. And your kid is still your kid. Even on the hard days of practicing a sound and putting peanut butter behind the top teeth so you can practice that L sound with your tongue. All of that, you're doing amazing work. You're exactly the right mom for your kids. And all those little moments matter. You never know how childhood is going to turn out, what sort of kid you're going to get, right? So if this back to school season has a lot of unknowns for you because you're on the edge of waiting for a diagnosis or an evaluation, just know that I'm offering a hand to you to say, I see you. And I know that back to school time isn't exciting for everyone. And if your kids are brand new to a school district and they're looking for those lunch buddies and playground buddies and people to walk home with and people to hang out with after school, my advice to you, if your kids are elementary school age, right, is to be the mom that initiates things. Just be bold and ask. I was texting with a friend yesterday whose daughter was at a soccer practice. And there's some confusing rules about parents and siblings at the practice. And so I was gently encouraging her, like, you can be the one to say, hey, well, if we can't watch this practice, then let's all meet here at this playground and at least socialize, right? Like, we don't have to stay in our cars and just wait. So be the one that helps build the community you wish you had. And yes, I know that is exhausting and tiring. There are seasons that I've done it better than others because of that energy level it takes. Some communities I've been gung ho, and others I am like, whoo, let me take a breath here because I'm not quite ready for that yet. Build the community you wish you had. And if you are super excited about back to school, awesome. Congrats. I'm sure that there are lots of things you want to do and lots of dreams your kids have, plays and projects and science fairs, all the things that excite people about school, new folders, organization, right? Just the schedule. But be gentle with yourself too. It's a big change, the back to school schedule from the summer schedule. So as you're, I'm sure if you've already had your first weekend, I know that you knew it was exhausting. And if you're heading into your first weekend of back to school, right, then plan for nothing. This has been the weeks of easiest dinners to try to make it gentle for everyone, easy, fast dinners, and also snacks instantly when they get home. The other trick is when you have these tired, worn out bodies from overstimulation from school, water, like drink water, but also like long showers, baths. This is real therapy. And cuddling on the couch and watching silly shows. I'm a big fan of reminding my kids their favorite shows from their preschool years because they're like, oh, that's my childhood. So there you go. There's one of my go-to strategies. I'm so proud of you. Thanks for listening. I know that if you're in this spectrum of moms that I've talked about here, the mom with the new kids, the mom who's nervous about back to school because of developmental needs or maybe gifted testing and you're just antsy to get that ironed out for your kid. If you're the mom who's excited that her kids are in back to school, or maybe you're the homeschool mom that's feeling on the fringe of things and maybe you have a great homeschool community or maybe you don't. But there's a spot for you here in Keep Calm Mother On. And I just wanted to let you know that I see you and that your energy is the backbone of your family. So take care of yourself in the morning before you get those kids at the door. If that's part of your duty, right? Like I've been lighting candles in the morning and playing classical music on a Bluetooth speaker to try to protect my calm So I'm not riled up by the rush of getting out the door by a certain time, because that's on them, not me. So I can just be the calm, steady lighthouse. And in the afternoon, I made some really simple snack choices involving chocolate, vegetables, and fruit this week, and cheese. And so we've been having that out, and I have an alarm set on my phone to have that prepped and ready so I can just savor my kids when they come back. I'm sure you've been told this before, but no kid actually wants to be asked how your day was. I know it's a question that every mom wants to ask when they see their kid. How was your day? Do you have any homework? But if you need a couple more questions to start with, just message me on Instagram or send me an email at play4life.christy@gmail.com, and I will send you some ideas of conversation starters that aren't how was your day and do you have any homework. I know that those are the easy ones to get trapped into, but they don't actually lead to great conversation with our kids. And it might just feel like too much. If you have a student that you are worried about academics for already, like you're just starting off anxious, I definitely recommend listening to an old episode I did with Dr. Jannot. I will link it in the show notes here. She wrote a book called The Discouraged Student. It's really meant for like middle school and high school parents, but if you have a kid that just you're nervous about and they're in elementary school, read The Discouraged Student so you can work on the habits that you can control to help your kid be empowered as a student and own confidence and responsibility. This back to school season is here, whether we like it or not, and I'm glad to be here with you. Okay, your self-care for this week is the stretch. I just want you to stretch. Find a YouTube. If you want a Peloton Buddy Pass, message me and I'll see if I have any Buddy Passes to give you. I just love a long 20-minute stretch. I've noticed that the more I stretch, the less tight my shoulders are. In fact, my husband was just commenting about it. Just take some time and move your body gently. Come home to yourself. Appreciate what your body does for you. And then for family fun, here's what I want you to do. I want you to make cookies. That's what we did for family fun last week. We pre-made a bunch of cookies on Sunday night for all those lunch boxes this week. And I think it's going to be a thing that we do for a while. If you have an amazing gluten-free cookie, I would love a gluten-free cookie that my gluten eaters might not complain about. So I appreciate you if you send that in to me. And that's all I got, people. My brain's a little bit tired. I'm still adjusting to this new routine too, but I wanted to see you and encourage you and let you know you're not alone. If you're the new kid's mom, the excited mom, a nervous mom about back to school, they're all valid. I'm so glad you're here on Earth. Bye, everyone.